Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Azure and AI Show. This evening here in Ireland is 7 p.m. We have Tosin in Dublin, Ireland, and we have Joseph is in Lagos, Nigeria. And Joseph is going to do a talk there on some networking stuff. And towards the end, the second half of the show, there we're going to have some stuff about some Microsoft certifications and have a few tips and general chat about that. Then, so Joseph, I'll leave you share your screen there.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank. I will just share my screen. Um, Entire screen. This share. Okay,
Yeah,
so let me know when you can see my screen.
yeah, it's just coming up there now, and you should see it there shortly. Yeah,
Visible now?
yeah, you can see your screen there now. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So today I am just going to walk you through one of my documents, and I feel it's very useful to have this discussed with people so we can share knowledge about this, and it's about networking generally. I want to do from the on-prem and then get to also do from the cloud. So we're just going to introduce some basic concept about networking because I feel it's very important we look at how to network computers to talk to themselves. So computer networking typically encompassing a collection of interconnected computer devices that are capable of exchanging data and sharing resources among themselves. So these interconnected devices actually rely on a set of defined rules known as communication protocols to transmit information over a wired or even a wireless network. So when we talk about Hyper-V, we are talking about servers that are built in our on-prem environment. So networking entails in Hyper-V, networking actually entails establishing a secure and a well-structured environment where virtual machines can execute applications. So this uh, is achieved through the implementation of virtual networks, oversight by a network administrator, and the provisioning of network connection that enables these virtual machines to interact with each other and external, you know, world by exchanging data. So an IP address, internet protocol, is an address is actually a fundamental concept when it comes to networking. So you can think of IP as a way to uniquely identify and locate a device within a network. So much like, say, postal address of this machine, of this printer, of this computer, of this server. So the location of a house, if you want to compare that to like a particular place where you're trying to describe. So it is a numerical label actually that's assigned to each devices in the network. Let's say one, two, three, and so on. So it is unique, to that device, and it helps to distinguish it from all other devices on the internet and or on a local network. So um, when we talk about network, we are not just particular about internet. We can have a network that is not connected to the internet. It can be a local network, right? So for IPs, we have classes of IPs. We have class A to D. However, class ABC are the most commonly used for addressing host. When we say host, we're talking about machine, right? That is having the devices connected to where they source information. So each class has a different format and the different range of available IP addresses. So you have the IP class A to 1 to 126 and so on. So we're going to actually deal with this as we proceed. So we have some terms that we can define here. We have IPv4, which is Internet Protocol version 4, and Internet Protocol version 6. So there are two main types of IP addresses, of course, for IPv4 and version 6, right? So IPv4 is actually the most widely used IP address. It expressed in four set of decimal numbers, which we will see as maybe 192.168.1.1. IPv4 has 32 bits address space, allowing for approximately 4.3 billion unique addresses. Unfortunately, we're actually running out of IPv4, but we now have IPv6 was developed because of that exhaustion of the IPv4. And IPv6 actually uses 128, right? 128 bits format, and it's usually in this format, hexadecimal. So we have what is called dynamic IP, and we have what is called static IP. So IP address that can be assigned dynamically, right? Or you can even assign IP statically. So dynamic IPs are actually often used for devices that do not need a permanent address. So while static IPs are assigned to devices that requires a consistent, unchanging address, like your servers. You know, you don't want your server to have .1 today and .3 tomorrow. You want it to have a static IP. Let's say a printer, but dynamic IP addresses are assigned by a DHCP server, and it may change. Let's say, for example, a particular device on the network that is used by a user, let's say a client's computer, can decide to change IP if you flush the DNS and you connect it back to the network. So you can have it change, but you don't want to change your file server from .10 to .11 tomorrow and .12 next tomorrow. So you want that to be static. So public and private IPs, we have public IPs and we have private IPs. So public IP addresses are globally unique. What it means is that public IPs are available over the internet. So it's particular to a device. So if it is one and it's not going to be changing. But if you have your organization A, organization B, you can decide to have private IP, which is used by other organizations. But so long you are on the same switch in your own environment, you can maintain that IP and it works for you as it will work for the other organization. But if it's for public IP, they are globally unique. So you can't have two of that running at the same time. But we'll see all of this as we progress. So, and they are used to identify devices on the public internet, talking about the public IP, while private IP addresses are used within a local network, such as a home office, a home or office, you know. So, and are not directly accessible from the public internet. No, they're not directly. So you can only use routers to handle the translation between your private IP and the public IP. So when we talk about routers, we will see the IP address from the public IP, the private IP that is assigned to um, your devices or your network to access the public IP. We shall see that when we come down to subnetting. So subnetting, an IP address can further be divided into subnets within a network. Let's say, for example, you have a network that is to take, let's say, 256 devices, for example, and you break it down into units. You can talk, so you can see a network as the house, while the subnet as the rooms that are within the house. So subnetting, when you see that, something to tell you that it's like a subset of a whole, right? So subnetting helps you with network organization, help excuse me, subnetting help with network organization and management by allowing different segments of a network to have their own IP address. Let's say your finance department is having her own IP, different from the IT department, and so on. So we can talk about subnetting. So IP version coexistence. Of course, it's possible for IPv4 and IPv6 to coexist in situation where you want them to actually work together. So transition technologies and mechanisms are actually used to ensure communication between these devices that are on IPv4 and those that are on IPv6. So there's what is called CDR. It's called classless interdomain routing. It's actually called CIDR notation. So This actually gives rise to a new way of writing IP. So if you see an IP address that is written and you have slash 24 for IPv4, or you see slash 32 for IPv6, something like this. So the slash 24 slash 32 is telling you about the CIDR notation. So the IP address is 32 bits if you are talking about IPv4 here, number that uniquely identify network, interface, or machines. And IP address is typically written in decimal digits, of course. So just to make it bring up sense very quickly, now to understand with CIDR notation, it means to take an IP address of this 192.168. This is clearly a Class C IP address and a private IP. And if you have slash 24, it means that the CIDR notation defines the address um, prefix, and then slash 24 define the number of the bits, reserved for the subnet marks and the what's it called, the host. So this means that the IPv4 is having, this means that the first 24 bits of the IP address are reserved for network routing, right? So if you look at something like this, for example, this is slash 24. I'm just going to take a screenshot of this and do a demo with that. Let me just bring up this and then show you this. So what this means is, if you look at this, for example, so what it is doing is that we have 192.168.0.15. So if you count this number of one here, they are going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this is giving you 8. This is giving you 8, and this is slash 24. So if you look at it, this is 8 plus 8 plus 8 is going to give you, this is 8, this is 8, and then this is 8. So this is going to give you 24. That means the 24 is over here. And if you are looking at it, what it means is that for you to get the number of network, I'm going to explain that you have 2 raised to power 0 because there's nothing there. So you're going to have one network that's going to be showing up for you here. So if you take instance of if you come down to this place, the number of network or subnets that is going to be, of course, everything here is 0. So it's going to be 2 raised to power 0, which is 1, means that you're going to have one network. The number of IP of valid IP addresses is going to be 2 raised to power 8. So what it means is that 2 raised to power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That will tell you the number of IP addresses. So 2 raised to power 8 is 16. The number of usable IPs is 256 minus 2. And how this calculation come to be is that 256 is the entire IP. The first IP, which is the network ID, the dot zero. You are going to see all of this. Dot zero is the network ID, while the last IP is for the broadcast. Therefore, you have to minus two. So it means that the assignable IP here is actually 254. But usually for network administrators, they may decide to use the dot one. No, dot zero is the network ID, while the dot one is mostly used for the default gateway, and the last IP is used as the broadcast. So I will just take you through this, and then we can look at some calculations before we go into the on-prem server, and then we can now fly to the cloud to see what is obtainable there. So the first IP address in the subnet is typically reserved for the network address itself. So this address is used to represent the network itself, other than an individual device, which is dot zero, right? It cannot be assigned to a host on the network. So it is used to identify the network as a whole, while in the CIDR notation, it's often referred to as the network address, which is the first one. So for example, if you have a subnet that is 192.168.1.0/24, the valid IP address in the subnet would be 192.168.1.0. This one is going to be would be for the network ID. It is not available for host assignments. So the last IP address, which is the subnet, often used in the subnet, is often reserved as the broadcast address. So for the subnet, so a broadcast address is used for sending data packet to all devices within the specific subnet, so it is not assigned to any individual host in the subnet. So that's about that explanation. So if you look at this, this is actually slash 26. So what it means is that if you count, this is 8, this is 8, this is 8, that's 24, 25, 26. So it means here that you have 2 raised to power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is going to be the number of valid IPs, the number of 0, 2 raised to the power number of 0. So to know the number of network that you have to say 2 raised to power 2, which is going to give you 4. So what it means is that the number of network that you're going to have here is 4, while the net number of valid IP is going to be 64. But remember that the first IP is the network ID, and the last IP is the broadcast. So what it means is that you're going to have 64 minus 2. This is going to give you 62 assignable IPs here, because of course those ones are given to the other. So looking at the lab itself, so that the theory should be over by now. In an on-prem environment, you have option to use, say, for example, Hyper-V. So what you do is, if you come to Hyper-V hosted, or if you turn on your Hyper-V and you bring it up, right here, you will see a lot of things happening. So if you look at it and you come down to this place, a lot you can do here. You have quick create for VMs, and then you have virtual switch manager. So if you see virtual switch manager, you can decide to create network here, right? And what you do is you can give it a name, new virtual switch. So what this does for you is to create a virtual switch that is going to be hosted on this environment. So we can just call it cloud show, and then we just come down here is internal network. Then we can apply, and then we can create that. But all of this happen within the on-prem environment. Our focus today is actually going to be on the Azure environment, to see how we can, because if you come to this place, I and you decide to create virtual switch, for example, you have option to make it internal network or private network, right? But because we'll not be deploying the VM completely, but I can show you from an existing VM. Let's just do this completely. Let's say cloud, cloud VNet, and then we want to make it private. We can put a note just to see, then we apply it, and then we have created that. So what it means is that when we are creating, sorry, just created two now. So when we are creating the virtual machine, we are going to put it in this switch when we want to select the network. But we already have some machines that are already available here that are running already. So if you have, when you are creating the machine, you can decide to see, to put it in a particular network. But if you put on your on-prem server, you have option to connect to your on-prem server, and you can check quickly the IP address that is assigned to this administrator. Just be very fast, people. So if you come here, for example, and you quickly just do CMD, it's just taking some time to load CMD. So and you do ipconfig, you would find out that it having 192.168.100.2, because this was the IP address that was given to it when it was created. So you can actually do this from the on-prem environment if you cannot give it the virtual switch that you want. But our focus today is actually going to be on the cloud, which is the Azure. So you can actually create those network too from Azure. So we're just going to, within the next 10 minutes, try to create some VMs. And so first of all, we just come home, and then we create resource, and then we call it Azure Show, or let's just call it Show just to keep it short. Show, sorry. I'm going to create, first of all, I'm just going to create resource group. Just going to quickly create resource group. So I'll just click on this. Okay, so I'll just call it just create this, and then I'll call it cloud show or cloud, or let's just call it show as I earlier mentioned. So that is it. We'll just review and create. So we'll create this as show, right? So the next thing we'll do is we'll come back here. We can say virtual network, which is VNet. We'll come here to create virtual network. So what we do is we can click on create, right? Okay, so we're just going to put it in show, and then we the virtual network name, we are going to call it um, Azure show, or we can call it show VNet. Um, so we do next. So we can decide now to come next and just give it IP address. So we can give it IP address, private IP address 168. We can give it .40.0. Okay. So and we quickly come back here and just put it as, let's say, /24. /24, where are you? /24. Okay, so when we do that, it's actually coming with a default subnet. So we are just going to call this the name, we're going to call it AI subnet, and when we do that, it's going to be from of course the VNet is the entire network. The subnet is going to be a portion of that. So all the IP address in /24 is 256 IP addresses, but we're going to reduce this to, maybe we put it at /26, just to bring 64 out of those addresses, and we click on add. So we want to, this is starting from 0 to 63. So we'll just quickly add. So the next one is going to start from 64. So 64. So it's going to start from 64, and then we are going to call the name, and it's going to be /26 as well. So we are going to call the name. This time we'll call it Azure Azure, call it Azure. I'm not sure why this is 64.40. So it's going to start from .64. Yeah, that's what the quarry it was having. Sorry, this is /24 address range 26. Not sure why that is failing, but let's just do it again. So this is stopping at /63.63. So add. So let me try again. Azure subnet, and we're going to start .40.64. 192.168.40.64. Not sure why this is failing. So maybe we'll just move on and use only this subnet. Let's just quickly review and create so that we don't take much time, because the time is already against us. So when that is done, we just click on create. I actually wanted us to create two subnets that we can have to interact with itself, but so this is getting deployed, and we've given a portion of that to AI. So okay, so once once this is done, we'll just quickly create a VM and then attach that to it. Okay, so that's good. That means this is created already. So if we come to subnets that are available, we'll see that we have a subnet, and the subnet is AI. It's having 59 IPs. So if you open it, you would find out that you have 192.168.40 to this 63 is having 59 IP addresses that you can give to people maybe in AI department, and Azure is holding back 5 of it as reserved IP addresses. So we're just going to see how you can give this IP address to a virtual machine. So we just come here and we want to create a VM. So when we are creating this VM, we are giving it a name. We're calling it Azure Show. Azure Show VM. Okay. So, and we are going to the availability this, and we're just going to leave it in Windows Server this, and then coming down B2MS. So where I'm very interested in is on the network side, where we decide the IP address that it is going to have. So we're going to give it Azure Show VM, Azure Show VM. Then I'll just give it a password. Okay, so I'll just go to next is the disk. So I'm not so interested in the disk but the networking. So it's going to give me option. Now I know that I have a virtual network I created and I call it show VNet, and inside there I have AI, which is the only VNet available here. So we are going ahead to go to management. In management is just for us to manage when we want the device to turn off and some other basic settings. So we just go to, I'm not sure we want to look at any other stuff, so we just hit on create. But what I'm just trying to say is that the network that is going to be assigned to this machine is going to be one out of what we have assigned to it already. So if we have multiple machines, we can put them on different subnet and later see how they could ping themselves to communicate. So if there is still time, I'm going to bring up 2 machines that are set up in the same VNet and we'll see how they communicate with each other. Okay, so the machine is being deployed. So we'll just come back here. So I have the VNet available, VM show, and then I have this here. Let me just come back home and quickly, I think I have a resource group I call 2024. Then inside this resource group, I have 2 VMs, which is this one and this one. So let's look at this one and quickly start it. So that machine is ready. So I'll just quickly come back home to the 2024 2024 VM2. Let's also start that one. Start. And then let's come back home to Azure Show VM. Since it's ready, it started already. So I just want us to connect it. So connect. Okay, so let's hope that everything is almost set. Let's just quickly download the RDP and try to put the password. Okay, so just gonna do this. It's okay. So as that is coming up, I think the other 2 machines too should be coming up by now. So let's quickly open them. I have 2024 VM2. So let's also connect. This is not started yet. So let's start it. And then let's come back to VM1 and also start it. Start VM1. And then I should have our machine coming up for us already. So because it's a server, it wants to load the components. So we'll give it some time to load up. I just want us to I just want us to do the IP config and see what network it has, and we can go to the VNet and confirm the network that is assigned to this. So while this is even trying to load, so we can come back home and go to Azure Show, virtual mesh. I mean, the okay, we can come here, I guess, instead of even. So we go to subnets, and then we'll see that it is having 58 IP addresses now. And then we can come down to look at there's something here that we need to connected devices. Yeah, that's what I wanted us to see. So connected devices, it is showing that we have Azure Show VM, and it is assigned from what we can see inside of here, 192.168.40.4. So the first machine that is assigned, that is connected to a VNet, it has been proven that it is usually assigned dynamically this IP from Azure by default. All right. So, but now that the machine is even up, let us quickly do CMD to see the IP address that is given to this machine, IP config, and then we can see that it is 192.168.40.4. That is the same thing as what we see that it's assigned to it here. So just to round off, I'll just quickly connect to the other machines that we have started already, which is virtual machine 1, and we just connect to this. So this was created outside of this show, so you may just listen through so that you can also try to do same from your end. So I'll just okay, so that's trying to connect. So we'll just come back home to machine 1. I guess what we started was machine 2. Let's see, was machine 1. So we're going to start machine 2. Okay, so we just connect to machine 2. Uh, okay, so let's just download the RDP and then let's connect to machine 2. Connect. Excuse me. Okay, so this is also going to connect. So we just do this. So we want to have a communication between machine 1 and machine 2. That's the essence of this connection. So while this is trying to connect, we'll just quickly go to machine 1 that is already connected. And what we want to do is just to do CMD, and we are going to we are going to be doing IP config just to know the IP config, and it is 192.168.60.4. Let's copy this IP address, 198.162.60.4. Fine. So let's also call on the second machine. um this is VM. This is the one that we need to come into. So CMD. So we are going to have this machine. So IP config. So this one is 192.168.60.5, which is in the same network with this machine. So this is .4, the other one is .5. So we just want to ping it. Let's ping this machine. Let's ping the other machine, ping this machine, and then and then we're just going to have it talking to the other machine already at a very limited time of 1 millisecond on the average. So let's go to the other machine too and see if it can talk to 4. Machine 1, this one, right? So this is 4. Let's see if it can talk to 5. So we just do ping, and then we do this, and then we do So we hit this and the communication is seamless. So you can see just within 1 millisecond is communicating with the other device. So one very interesting thing about the machine in the cloud, as a round off, is just one more thing to show you. Edge browser. So it's actually a new machine too. So I'm not sure the edge has been opened before. So I may have to do some. Okay, good. It's open already. So let me just do um, speed test.net, and then you see the network, the speed of the network on this machine itself. You will see that the connection to the internet is going to be very, very, very high, because that is the benefit of using um, the Azure VM. I'm just using this to round off. You can see this is 560, 600 already. So let's see what it will bring out. 790, 802. Okay, so upload is 852.13. So let's see this. So you can see a continuous communication with the other machine on the same network, because yeah, so this is 5852 on this. So if you come to my local machine itself and try to do speedtest.net, you're gonna see the difference between the Azure VM and what you have in your local environment. So a lot of things are way better on the cloud than your local PC. So just see what this is going to give you. So this is, you can imagine what this is giving us, 29 and 22. Okay. So that's all I have in my local environment. And you see how the cloud is flying with the network speed of 852.13 and 869, while my on-prem is just having 35 and 16.2. So this is all we can cover within these 30 minutes. And I hope we're able to learn one or two from what we have here today. So thank you very much, guys, for your attention. And if you have questions, of course, we are open to receive your questions. Thank you. Over to you, Frank.
Hi, Stephen. Or, thanks, Joseph.
Hey, hi Frank. Yeah,
Joseph, very great, very good presentation.
yeah, good presentation. Yeah, well done, Joseph. Quite nice. Good, good.
Very
Thank you very
clear,
much, Stephen.
very clear and to the point as well. Not very complicated for people to figure out. Nice to see the demonstration there on how fast the cloud is, the speed test in the cloud compared to your on-premises one. Um, Very interesting. So, Stephen, we have two new guests with us this week. We have Tusin, she's in
Yeah.
Dublin, she's an MVP. Um, we don't have any questions coming in for you, Joseph, but we have it on, we're broadcasting out through LinkedIn, and we're broadcasting on two YouTube channels, and we're broadcasting on two Twitter accounts or X accounts. So we're broadcasting out to five different platforms tonight. So, Stephen, do you know how to add your channel, your LinkedIn account to StreamYard?
Not really. I've not actually used StreamYard before. I probably will look around it and see. There.
Yeah.
I just actually even signed up today, so mostly I just joined from the browser. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, there we are. So I just wanted to, I'll share my screen there, Joseph, and I just want to kind of show some people we covered certification there in Journey to the Cloud there recently, last Thursday. Just a second now. And anybody, any questions, just jump in there, and they can add anything for some tips for people who are starting off with their journey to get any certifications. Well, okay, I'm sharing my screen there. Tell me if you can see that, guys. Check now.
Yes, please. Can see.
Okay. So if you're starting off in your journey to learning some stuff like Azure or AI, any Microsoft stuff, sign up to Microsoft Learn. It's got everything. It's free. So I'm just going to drop down to the training section here. So this is the Microsoft Learn platform. So we'd say, as we were talking about Azure today, so we just click on Azure here on the left-hand side. So then you're presented with this part here, browse all Azure learning paths. So we'll click into that one. So as you can see there on the left-hand side, that box is ticked, and it's after bringing us up with 2,087 different modules that you can learn about. So you can do, you can see some of these are only 12 minutes, some are 17 minutes, 23 minutes. All depends on, if you have some free time on your hands and you just wanted to do 20 minutes or half an hour, pop onto here. And as you can see up on the right hand side here on my profile, it's got level 13 on it. I'll just pop into, open my profile there just in a different window, just to give you an idea what that looks like. So if you do any modules in here, you can earn badges. See over on the left hand side there, I've been doing this for years, so don't take any notice of the big number 259 there on the left. I think I've been doing Microsoft Learn since around 2017, so I'm at it about 6 years or so. So it will track all the stuff you've done. So you can see a lot of the stuff I've done here. I've completed some of the stuff that I'm finishing off, 25% there. So look, I just come back to where the part I'm talking about the learning and the certification part. So we've ticked off Azure here, right? So if you're going down the track, you'd say on the administrator, click that box. As you can see, then it's going down to 911. And we'd say you're a beginner, click on that one. And then you can see the results are going down even more. So like what you want to do then is either you want the learning path or the course or the module. So we'll just click on each one just to give you a look what actually comes up. So if you're a beginner and you want a course, this is the best one to start with. It's the Azure Fundamentals. So I'll just click into that one there. And this gives you all the information that you need to know about doing the course, the Azure Fundamentals, which is the AZ900. So if you want to learn Microsoft Cloud and you're a beginner, this is the one to start off with. So you can see there, beginner, admin, all the different languages. So you can see here, look, it's only a 1-day course, so it's not a whole lot in it. Like you can see there, describe cloud computing in module 1, and there's 8 units inside in that. The next one there described the benefits of using cloud services. 7 units inside that. The next module described cloud service types. The other module then described the core architecture components of Azure and describe Azure compute and networking services. We saw there Joseph kind of demonstrating some of the networking stuff, and the compute there will go with the VMs. So I'll just go back up here and 1 second now, show more. So we'll just go back to where the course was there. So I'm just going to click off the course type here, and we'll go back down to the learning path. So we click on that, and these are all the different learning paths for the Azure administrator. And the administrator is AZ104. So we'll just find, these are the prerequisites for the AZ104. So that's the Azure administrator. And this is showing you what the prerequisites, as far as I know, it's you need to do the Azure fundamentals first for this one. Do you think I'm right with that there, Joseph? You have to do the AZ900 before you start this one? Okay, so there we go. Look, the prerequisites to do that one is the Azure fundamental. So those 3 there. And that's a breakdown there of that part of the thing. So the Azure portal, Cloud Shell, PowerShell, there's a lab simulation with PowerShell, Azure CLI. So there is a good lot to that course, but I recommend doing the fundamentals before you do anything else. So we just go back to where we were here, and I was down at the end part. So we had beginners, the learning path. So I'm going to click that one off, and then we got the modules. Then was the third one I just wanted to show. So you got 251 modules in the Azure administrator. Second now, we got the admin, yeah, the administrator. So there's 251 separate modules, and you can see some of the ones there that I've completed as well. And another good thing about Microsoft Learn, it holds all your, if you do any certifications, they'll keep them on their platform here. So I'm just going to go into this one here, credentials, and you will just see the 2 of them there. Okay, so certifications. These are 2 of the certifications I have, and you can see over in the right hand side there, they're green, they're active. So if these it says expires on November 24. Okay, so in a couple of months' time, Microsoft will send me an email saying that I have couple of months to do the actual renewal. So the renewal, if you do it, don't wait until the last day. I heard a story, Dan Ray told me there, that somebody waited until the last day to do their renewal, and because they were in a separate time zone, like Microsoft's time zone is different, and maybe we'd say somebody was going to do it here in Ireland, and the time difference, so it could be cut off. So don't wait until the last day to do it. So they're going to give you maybe 6 months if you want to do your renewal, and you can do the questions. If you get it wrong, don't worry. Just wait 24 hours and you can actually do the renewal again, and it's totally free. So yeah, so one other thing there I just wanted to touch on as well that we were talking about there. Microsoft have these new applied skills, they're called. So somebody was saying to me that these sort of things now are going to be more and more in the future. So I just want to bring up one second there now, and I'll just show you a bit more about the applied skills. Second now. Okay, applied skills, Microsoft. So they're adding new ones all the time. So just 1 second now, we go into them. Right, where to earn the skills and credentials. Not here. Just a second, I will just go back here again. Somebody has a video here of them. See, can we play this? Okay, so that's the applied skills there, guys. Have you done any of those, Stephen or Joseph? Have you seen those?
No, I've not actually seen that. I would have to look at that after this show, so I can have more understanding about it.
Yeah. So they have, if you click into them, they actually have the module. I dived into one of them and thought I kind of knew everything about Azure for, setting up a storage account and making all the securities and whatever like that.
Wow.
But I didn't actually pass it, so I had to go back and I actually had to do
Try it again.
do the course. So definitely do the course first. It's probably maybe 2 hours. You can do a bit every time, but do the course first because it will give you the actual tips
Idea.
on what to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think Stephen is after falling off. 1 second now. All right, Stephen.
Hiya. Yeah.
I don't know. Your connection must have got dropped or something.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Have you seen the applied skills that Microsoft have?
Is it the apply skill? Yeah, I think I've seen that. I did try I think I did try the storage one, yeah, but I couldn't complete it. So try one. Yeah.
I think there's a few bugs in it as well, it's but there is a few more of them coming.
Okay.
What will ask me? Somebody has.
Oh, I just
Second there now.
Sorry, Frank.
So Harry Patel, what will ask me? No. So I don't know.
Does that have a question?
No, it's not a question. It's a. So yeah, Joseph, you're welcome any week. Come and join us. We're kind of coming up on the hour there now. Is there, Stephen? Are you going to do some stuff for us coming up?
Yeah. So I'm just because now I'm preparing for this my exam MS 102. So yeah, so maybe probably next week or so I'll let you know when I'm going to present something.
Oh yeah, sure. So the MS 102 you're going doing, is it?
Yeah. 102 MS 102. Yeah.
102. What exam is that?
That's the Microsoft administrator, Microsoft 365 administrator.
Oh, the 365 administrator. Oh yeah.
Joseph,
does some.
I'm actually on that course as well. I had
wow.
the style I used was I have to click everything open and copy it once. I have it pasted on Word. And it's about 1,068 pages I have to read first before I go for that exam. So
yeah,
big
I think I just started like this month, this February. So yeah, like now today I've spent like 4 hours reading.
I think I am in page 350. I think out of 1,000. So
using the Microsoft Learn or
yeah. So I clicked open all the links in Microsoft Learn and I copied them one after the other and I have them pasted on a document. So if you like, I can share that with you. It makes me focus on just one place without having to click and click and click. So it's easier that way.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I have it.
Yeah. I can share with you. I can just share with you on LinkedIn.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
That's great. Listen, guys, so we're up on the hour, and Joseph, we're connected on Tweet. Prathap has just joined us here. How you doing, Prathap?
Hiya.
You're in our.
Hi, Stephen.
Yeah, how you doing today?
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Sorry, actually, I have one more session I just completed there, and so.
Yeah. So we were just finishing up. We're on the hour. So Joseph had a great presentation for us there, and thank you again for a great demo.
You're welcome anytime, Frank.
Okay. So listen, guys, thank you for joining the Azure and AI show. We're here again next week. If anybody wants to do any talks on the Azure and AI show, reach out to us. We're on LinkedIn, and
We are happy to host you.
YouTube, and we're on Twitter or X, whatever's the new name for it now. So thanks, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you, Frank. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye bye, and good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, good night. Good night from India.
Very good.
Yeah.